It's the most wonderful time of the week because it's Robyn in the Hood. Let's predict what's going to happen, shall we? Last week, way too much heterosexuality between Little John and Robyn. So this week, Robyn and Marion are going to get it on. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Last week on Robyn in the Hood, Robyn decided to make amends for the heat that she'd brought to her community due to her teething by doing some more teething and therefore compounding the matter, creating even more heat for Sherwood and Forest and making the residents even more unhappy. Awesome writing. Then she says at the end of the episode, we're gonna take back what's ours. Woman, nothing you have stolen in the show so far has remotely belonged to any of you or any of the residents of Sherwood and Forest. You're not a vigilante. You're just a dirty, scummy thief. But we're in a 2023 TV show written by a progressive, stunning, and brave... And that's the way that things are. They have no idea of actual morality. They have this stupid commie Marxist attitude where everything that someone else has earned in their life belongs to me, the lazy bum who does no work for a living and just wants us to leech off everybody else. What a wonderful moral message to push to an audience. But there again, with a guy like that, you can only go so far. So we start off the episode with the kid whose name I don't even care to know, never mind give a shit about, getting preparations for his birthday party. And it's so important to him that he's drinking hard liquor in the morning. Oh, well, I guess this is probably the character that Director X can relate most to, you know, being brought up in privilege behind closed doors of gated communities. Anywho, never mind. The secretary, whose agent comes in and he calls her babe, to which she says that's not my name because my sexism and my racism probably, because he's a white piece of pig meat, isn't he? And then she says your dad's gonna have to reschedule your birthday because he's got an important investors meeting, but he sends his regards. And I'm just thinking to myself, wait a minute, this is the origin story of no doubt his turn to the dark side in becoming a member of the Hood. That the little privileged white boy who's been brought up in nothing but opulence, his daddy didn't give him the attention. Oh, fuck off. Then he just shouts at everyone and is really obnoxious because I guess that's just white people. Director X! Does the X stand for exceedingly racist?
There's some serendipity in the diversity of the show. It's an all-black cast.
Julian, sweetheart, if something is all of one thing, it's not diverse. I know that in Hollywood, the word diverse now just means non-white because you're all race baiting posers there, but an all-black cast is not diverse. Also, it's not an all-black cast. You give yourself away again. What you meant to say is I've cast all the people who we perceive as good as black. Watched an interview a few days ago where Director X is calling all the people who make videos about his terrible, terrible show goofy while talking to a guy who was wearing a disco ball as a head. And one of the things he said was, they laugh at everything, every scene, every word. Pretty much. It's all fake. And I'm like, dude, we're laughing because it's all garbage. Utter garbage. Utter victim porn, intersectional victimization porn. And here, no more epitomized than this scene here, where there's a busker and then one of them Hood members, can't remember his name, Mike, Dave, Tom, Kevin, Barry, something like that, who clearly doesn't have a job because nobody's got a job in this fucking place, is busking away, and apparently they know each other and used to jam back in the day before computers. The guy's 5. Anywho, White Boy Summer comes along after Kevin, Mike, David, whatever, has got into his bus. White Boy Summer, son of Prince John, with his Asian friend and his brown friend, because Director X really is racist. And they try and entice the busker into his car, his Rolls Royce, because, boo, Woo! The rich people are here. Says the rich guy who's rich. Oh, God, champagne socialists. They're the funniest. They are the funniest of everyone. And so they try to entice the busker into the car. Come play at my party. We want some of that real Sherwood vibe, you peasant. And the guy's just like, "Bruh." And then you go, we got $300. It's Canadian, so it's about $10. Suddenly... Suddenly, the busker is looking at that Rolls Royce and that white boy summer like it's a black van with candy on the side. Oh yeah! Get into my van, little girl! We're gonna party! And I'm praying to the good Lord up above, and I'm saying, dear Lord, please don't make them rape the busker. Please. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, let's be honest. We all know that he just wants that money for crack. So cut to St. Jesus, George Lionheart, Floyd Community Center. And Marion comes waltzing in as the jobless bums who don't work for a living are having a folding clothes competition. I don't know, something like that. And I'm already like, what? We're 5 minutes into the show and I think I've already called it. We'll have no heterosexuality here. This is a scissoring place for scissoring people. So Marion gives Robyn an update on her mum's court case and she's like, oh, your mum, she never slows down. And I'm like, what? The same woman that passed out last week and had to get taken to her bed because she overexerted herself, and then her daughter started shouting at her for looking at some paper because nobody in this fucking place works for a living because they're all gone. So Robyn tells Marion that she's trying to keep herself busy by not working for a living by dealing with this clothes drive. So Marion looks down at the poor people in a condescending way, takes off her jacket and gives it to her, saying, I have aced every interview I've ever done with this blazer. Here, poor peasant, take the clothes off my back, for I am the rich savior of Sherwood and Forest. Also, I'd really like to scissor you. So we interrupt this very touching moment to bring you, oh no, what's happened to the busker? Please don't let him have been touched inappropriately. Anyway, his guitar is destroyed. No! St. Jesus, George, Lionheart, Floyd, why didn't you protect me? And we cut to a YouTube video of the busker in the middle of nowhere busking for the white boy summer. And of course, they're being completely over-exaggerating poopy pants people. And they say, let me buy your guitar for $200. He's like, no. 300, no. 500, no. 1,000. And then he grabs the guitar from him and he smashes it on the ground. This, by the way, is him committing a crime where he's placing the evidence live and can be arrested for it. But I'm sure that the corrupt police won't do anything about it. Oh, look at those dislikes to like ratio. Oh, that's not very good now, is it? It's as if you create something shit, people really don't like it. How did that get up there? Who put that up there? Editor, how dare you? What do you mean? I'm the one who edits these videos. To David, Michael, Colin, Kevin, Tristan, Reardon is really mad that his friend's guitar got smashed up, but not mad enough to put a thumbs down on the video that he was watching. So we have a bit of a mask off moment now. Philip, Michael, David, Reardon, Kevin says, I'm going to hurt him. And Robyn says, that's not what we do. And he says, wait a minute. The last time I checked, we were just fucking bum outlaws. We steal cars. We smash drones. We steal from pharmaceutical companies. And Robyn says, whoa, that's different. Our people needed medicine. And David, Michael, Kevin, Philip says, He is our people. And the other guys all look, I don't know. He's looking a bit cocaine. So they suddenly are like, well, he's only one person, whereas lots of people needed medicine before. And he's like, but if you hurt one of us, then you hurt all of us. Now, much, some, maybe, a little bit. She's like, well, but Robyn and Little John, who doesn't have a job, are all, I don't know. I don't know. He's not hitting our target demographic, really, is he now? Director X, way to make your characters, your heroes, look like complete trash scum. But there again, that is exactly what they actually are. And then in an absolutely staggering moment, Robyn says, maybe Kevin, David, Richard, Michael, Reardon, Tristan is right. And I'm like, okay, it took you a few moments to get there. But then she says they think they can do anything to us because this is now about her. Ego, vanity, narcissism. They think they can push us around. Fuck that guy who just had his guitar smashed up. We need to teach them a lesson that Sherwood is under our protection. Me. Now, White Boy Summer invited me to his birthday party. So what better way to show that Sherwood is under our protection by going to his penthouse and stealing more shit from him because we're scum. Absolute, utter scum. Way to take something that happened to someone else and make it all about you, you narcissistical cow. Now, Little John's not happy with the plan, but he can just shut the fuck up because number one, you're a bum. Number two, you're a jobless bum. And number three, by the end of this episode, you're going to be a cocked, jobless bum mate. Guarantee it. And then in the very next scene, Robyn and Little John start getting it on. This is the most that I've had my expectations subverted ever. But there's still time. There's still time. This could be the pride before the fall. You never know. And then he says to her, so through all the drugs, they've been off your head. You knew what you were doing. And she said, even though everything was chaotic and everything was all over the place, you were the only thing that made sense. Ah, right in the feels. And then he's like, oh, okay, should we go? She's like, yeah, let's be gay, do crime. And then when we get back, let's go to the cookie jar. You're going to get cucked by Marion. So I shit ye not. The plan is for Robyn and Little John to go to the party as a couple, dressed up all swanky and nice. And then Much and David, Michael, Reardon, Tristan, Kevin, Vincent, Dylan Mulvaney to go, and I quote Much here, as the help disguised as employees. And then when they're in the penthouse, to steal White Boy Summer's birthday presents. 'Cause justice? What the fuck are they smoking? Oh, we know. We actually know what they're smoking. So in the government-funded, i.e. the taxpayer-funded TV show, they once again show the advert for the Axe body spray using the exact same shot that they did last week. Not remotely lazy in the slightest. So when they arrive at the party, Robyn says to Little John, this apartment's actually really nice when we're not here being a bunch of fucking thieves all the time. And Robyn says, yeah, let's just live a little. Then Much comes along with some hors d'oeuvres and says, wow, these people, what do you mean these people? Eat more money than we can spend. It's not your money. It's not your money to be bothered about, you fucking lazy cow. Even if they've acquired the money through inheritance or hard work, it's not your money. You're not entitled to a penny of it. But here you are, stealing and giving to your community, i.e. yourselves, for self-gratification. You scum! You vile scum, the lot of you. But I'm sure the actors are really nice people in real life. What a surprise! Marion turned up to the party and she sees Robyn and says, "What are you doing here, you lowly peasant?" And Robyn says, "Well, what are you doing here?" Marion replies, "Well, I used to go to school, the same prep school, don't you know, as White Boy Summer, and I always get an invite, but I throw them in the bin." So Robyn says, "What changed your mind this year?" And she says, "Come with me. Let's go in the corner and scissor." So when they're there, she says, "I use my big lawyer Bran to come to birthday party to search for evidence that Prince John is in bed with the sheriff's department." You came to a birthday party to find evidence of corruption between John Prince and the sheriff's department. What you gonna do, sweetheart? Are you gonna fucking grill the salmon puffs or maybe put the Khyber on the fucking cocktail sausages? So Marion says to Robyn, "With both of us being here, this is a legal nightmare because of your mum and her court case. So one of us has to leave," but they both refuse. So Marion says to Robyn, "Well, I guess with two pairs of hands, we'll finish in no time." And Robyn's just like, "Ha ha ha, gay!" And Marion's like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It was just a lesbian joke. Two pairs of hands finishing. Fucking scissoring!" Then the scene ends as awkwardly as the joke is actually presented, and then Much decides to refer to themselves as the Help again because she says, "I don't think there's been enough attempted and forced victimization in this episode. So even though we were the people who decided to go as employees, we will keep on referring to ourselves as the Help in an effort to some way push that intersectionality angle that is just constantly here, even though we're a bunch of dirty, stinking, moralless thieves who don't do anything for a living." Well, at least that's what I got from it. Bloody hell, it's already past 6 p.m. in the evening here. Please don't let this review go on till midnight like last week's did. Ugh. So White Boy Summer comes out, sits on a throne, he's wearing a crown, he's like, "Where's my shit? And if you give me crap presents, I hope you fit, and you suck my dick later." And then he's really ungrateful for his presents, of course, because my privilege. And then Much says, "This is really bumming me out." And I paused and I waited for the anal sex joke, and it never came. It never came. Wow. Legitimately shocked. Legitimately shocked. So they all get into position for Operation We're a Bunch of Scummy Thieves and We're Gonna Steal Somebody's Birthday Presents that don't belong to us. And Robyn's plan is to get her les on with Marion on the dance floor. Now, of course, Little John gets the big mad because he's been cucked. Because I told you so. And he's all big huffy puffy thinking, "I never even got my hands in the cookie jar. Never mind somewhere else." But there you go. So we have this montage of Marion and Robyn grinding on each other, all, of course, in the name of scummy greed. I have no clue what's going on in this show. It's absolute unmitigated dog shit. So the cuck crew have broken into his room and all they find is empty boxes because all the birthday presents have been placed in a safe. And then David, Richard, Vincent, Dylan, Mulvaney, Kevin, Barry, Colin says, "Doesn't he trust his own friends?" Hi, I'm got a question. As HeelvsBabyface, aka Terrence von Higginbottom, you can call me Terry. Aren't you a bunch of thieves trying to steal his shit? So didn't he do the right thing to put it into a safe? Because you never know when the Help is here who might want to fucking take it. So White Boy Summer, who's managed to get drunk in the space of approximately 30 seconds, stumbles back into his office where he's choked out by Little John as Much is trying to break into the safe, even though she says, "I'm a mechanic, not a safe cracker." So what the fuck she's even attempting to do? God knows, just spin the fucking dial and try and guess the numbers. Whatever. More crime is being committed as they have assaulted a person on their own premises, as well as breaking in, I guess, as well as attempted theft. Why? Why? Because of their ego. Because they gotta show that they own Sherwood. This isn't about helping that guy. This isn't about trying to get him another guitar, or at least replace the guitar, or give him the money to buy a new guitar. No. It's about their own vanity, their own ego, their own narcissism, and their own greed. Greed to take things which don't belong to them. Again, a grand wizard couldn't create a show that perpetuated as many negative racial stereotypes as Director X has managed to do in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin bloody Trudeau came in the door in blackface for a guest star appearance right now. So they take the throne, they put him on the throne, and then they put it in the crate and leave, saying that the throne was the wrong color, get into a lift, and only then realize they've now added kidnapping to the assault, to the breaking and entering, to the attempted robbery, burglary, GBH, oh fuck. So Marion and Robyn have a conversation about their impending scissoring, and Marion says, oh, I think I know where John Prince's office is. Let's break into there and try and steal some evidence, which would be inadmissible. Also, so what? So what if you find that he's working with the sheriff's department? Wouldn't you? I mean, after all, he's been criminally trespassed, inciting a riot. He's been broken into. He's been physically assaulted. He's had property stolen. And you are currently trying to steal more stuff while being in his property. Why would he not be working with the police? Or is this a hashtag defund the police thing or something weird like that? If I was a big property developer whose only crime was that I actually wanted to raise the value of an area and get rid of the fucking jobless thieving scum, I too would probably have a relationship with the police. So now we cut to an establishing shot for the next scene, which is the establishing shot from last week, which they've already used in the show this week and are now using it again, but this time they've removed the Axe advertising, which has been purposely whacked in. Holy shit, you're lazy as fuck! Probably next week, the review of the show will literally just be me puking the theme tune for 40 minutes. Somehow I think some people won't mind that. I thought they were just gonna dump White Boy Summer somewhere. But no, they've taken him to an abandoned warehouse, got dressed in their stupid Fortnite costumes, and have now physically taped him and are gonna hold him against his will, aka this is just a full-on kidnapping. So he's just like, oh, is this my mates? No, this ain't your mates. And they take the blindfold off him so that they can see quite clearly that it's the Hood gang. And then they say, you're here because of Elmo? I think that... Elmo, the guy who was busking. You kidnapped him. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't kidnap him at all. They said, come into our car for $300. And he did, of his own free will. He didn't have to, but that man needs his crack. Now, they did destroy his guitar, and they did record doing that, and that's disgusting. And he should be punished for that, but he won't be, of course. However, he then gave him $1,000, even if he threw it up into the air, as compensation. So Elmo could have got the $1,000 and then bought another guitar and still been in profit. Still a poopy pants thing for him to do, but he was never kidnapped. He went of his own free will. What you're doing, however, is absolutely kidnapping.
Prince's office.
Really? You need to go down to your local fucking police station and say, excuse me, is there a job available for Sherlock fucking Holmes? Even Francois in Vancouver, who has an IQ of -16 because it's the same as the temperature there, knew that this was Prince's freaking office. Please, just give your audience a modicum a tinge of credit. So Marion has brought some lockpicks along because she's also going to join in the crime spree. She can't unlock the door, so she gets a credit card out and Robyn takes it and goes jammy jammy, door opens, and then there's a phone call and it's from the 1980s. And they say, hey, can we have our way of breaking into an office back again? Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done with this. So Little John calls Robyn. She's not picking up because she's scissoring. And he says to Much, he says, I've never seen Alan. He's called Alan. Hey, I've never seen Alan like this. You're here with Much. You're telling her you've never seen Alan like this. And you've left Alan alone with the guy that fucked with his friend. How retarded are you, apart from exceedingly, because you haven't got a job? You probably can't get a job because all you would do was walk up to the nearest window and start licking it. Licking it. So it cuts to White Boy. White Boy Summer and Alan. And Alan is trying to play the high ground by saying, I saw that video. What you did was not cool, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Alan. But apparently breaking and entering, assault, theft, grand larceny, probably, I don't know, and all the other shit that you do, that's absolutely fine. After all, wasn't it you that earlier in the episode wanted to actually question the fact that all you were doing was crime and maybe not doing it for the right reasons because you weren't really helping people out? And then White Boy Summer calls his boyfriend Elmo, calls him Elmo, which is what I thought he was called. And then Alan gets mad because he's apparently called Elmore. Elmo never knew that. Cut to Marion and Robyn, be gay, do crime, and they find Prince's laptop because businessmen just leave their laptops in the drawer of their desks of a night in a room that can be unlocked by waggling a credit card twice. Holy fucking shit. You're only as clever as your writers, and your writers are with Little John licking that window. And anyway, they're there going, oh, what do we do? I don't know anything about tech. The person I know isn't here because he wasn't paid for this episode. We didn't sell enough Axe body spray to afford him. And then they just like, okay, let's just guess a password until we inevitably get it right somehow. And then I've got this USB stick handy just to download the folder that says incriminating evidence because it's written by fucking idiot. Okay. And then they just talk about Marion's dead dad and she's, and Robyn says, what do you think he would think now? And I'm just like, probably that she's a thieving piece of shit, just like you. Cut back to, oh, fuck, I've forgotten his name. Kevin? Alan. And Alan saying, Elmo's music is everything to him. You took it away. It was his heart. It was his soul. And White Boy Summer says, well, can't he just buy another guitar? I'm like, he's not wrong, you know? He got $1,000. Yeah, he broke his guitar. Yes, I'm not condoning it. Yes, it was poopy pants. But he can buy another guitar. Of course he can. And Alan gets mad and he tackles him, which allows him to get off the chair that he was taped heavily around and then run off, locking Alan inside of the room, and where Little John and Much just fucking walking around the abandoned building, dicking about. So White Boy Summer's now on the loose. So Chet also managed to pick up his mobile phone on the way out, and instead of calling the police, which would be the sensible thing to do, he calls his friend instead, because if the police get involved, then his dad's gonna him. But his friend sits down on his throne and his phone's in his back pocket, so he butt answers, but he can't actually speak or hear White Boy Summer. And they just so happen to coincidentally have a conversation about how they don't like White Boy Summer and they only hang out with him for his money and his influence and all that kind of stuff, which makes him big sad, and I'm sure will be the precipitating factor to join the Hood gang, because none of my witch fans like me, so I guess I got to do the bad thing now. Oh man, it's really hard, giggity, being this right all the time. Of course it's not hard. Everything is so fucking predictable in this show. Hey, Little John, You got cooked. So the story behind this, by the way, is somebody else comes into the office. And so the lady's like, what should we do? Well, there's only one thing that we can do. Scissor. So they get it on as the boys walk into the office and they're like, get the out. We got some scissoring going on. But even after the boys are backed away, the girls keep on kissing for a little bit longer. Fucking scissoring! So then the ladies look at each other. Oh my God. I guess we should go and get back to the scissoring later in another episode. Okay. And then the thumb drive that Marion placed into the laptop, which they couldn't even break into, suddenly just glows green as if it's downloaded something. How? Don't know. And she takes it, shoves it in her bra and goes, okay, let's go. Sense. Does it make any? No. No, it does not. The Hood catch up with White Boy Summer, who's now just lying on the ground. We didn't see him fall or anything that I can recall. So whatever. And he's just like, oh, don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit. And they said, well, we're going to make you walk home to your friends. He's like, they're not my friends. They just want me for my private jet. And oh my gosh,
ain't nothing nice with coming at me. Put everything that you got in the bag into the hood and take from the bag.
So after White Boy Summer had spilled his guts, they said, hey, we know how you can make it up to Elmore. And so they took him back to the apartment where he played along saying, hey guys, as a gift from me to you, you're all going to be in the Hood's new video. And they're like, wow. So the Hood come out with a bag and they all start putting their jewelry and clothes, yes, clothes, and money into the bag while they're singing their shitty fucking shit song, as you saw. And then they go and the guy's like, oh, that was awesome, dude. When do we get our stuff back? Oh no, I made it up to the Hood for the thing that I did wrong by making sure that all of you got robbed. Excuse me, those ladies, those other gentlemen, all that put their stuff in that bag thinking that they were being filmed for a music video, how did they have anything to do with what White Boy Summer and his two friends did to Elmo the fucking Smurf earlier in the episode? Nothing! But do the Hood have a problem taking from them anyway? No, this show isn't the clown show. This is the whole fucking circus show. And the clothes that they stole from the people, they put into the clothes drive, courtesy of the Hood. So now everyone in Sherwood and Forest is receiving stolen goods, knowing they're from the Hood, and therefore becoming an accessory to the crime after the fact, because Sherwood and Forest is infested with rats, just like our savior, John Prince, said, just like our beloved mother, the Sheriff of Nottingham, had foretold. And they weren't in this episode, and Lord can only hope that our two heroes come back to save the day from these vile criminals that are stealing from hardworking people so they can feed their addiction of crack, laziness, joblessness, and bumness. Bumness sounds a bit dirty, doesn't it? Then Elmo turns up dressed in the stolen clothes with a new guitar, which I imagine he bought with $1,000 that he was given. Fuck this show in all of its holes.
Make a good team. Sure. You were a great actor. We need a...
All I can say is I wish I could say the same.